The shooting could be heard as soon as it got dark. Near midnight, about 50 men came to the gate carrying torches, shouting for us to turn over the Mexicans. They hesitated there in the road. 50 men or not, it is no small thing to trespass on McCullough land. But after a long period of milling around, one of them put his foot on the bar and began to climb over. At which point we opened fire over their heads. Charles put his automatic Remington to good use, unleashing all 15 rounds as the crowd broke and fled down the road. We spent a good deal of time afterwards stomping out the fires that started when they dropped their torches. Later, Niles Gilbert and 2 others from the Law and Order League drove up and pleaded with me to kick the Mexicans out, lest the town be burned. Charles shouted, "So go shoot the assholes who are burning your town. It ain't like you don't have enough guns." "How many men do you have, Peter?" "I've got enough, and I've armed all the Mexicans as well," which was not true. "This isn't going to turn out well for you," he said. Consuela and Sullivan had been cooking all night, so there was plenty of beef and cabrito. By morning, half the families had asked permission to stay at the ranch until the town was safe. The other half loaded up with food and water and began to walk or ride across our pastures toward the river and Mexico. They are going into a war zone, but apparently it is preferable to this. Naturally, they all believe the colonel is responsible for their salvation. Who else could it be but Don Eli? This rankles greatly, but I did not bother to correct them. How they will ever get democracy, I don't know. They are very comfortable with the idea that powerful men rule their lives. Or perhaps they are simply more honest about it than we allow ourselves to be. My father was well behaved, entertaining all the children on the gallery with his Indian stories, showing them how to start a fire with 2 sticks, giving archery demonstrations as well. He can still draw his old Indian bow, which I can barely pull back myself. He was happy and at ease and laughed a lot. I do not remember seeing him like this since before my mother died. Perhaps he was meant to be a school teacher. As we watched the refugees walking and riding toward the river, their belongings piled on mules and carts, he said, "That'll be the last time we see any of 'em moving south, I'd imagine." And yet they love him. They go back to their jacals at night, which are hot in the summer and cold in the winter, while he goes back to our house, a sprawling white monstrosity, 1,000 years' salary for them, or 1,000,000. Meanwhile, their children are stillborn, and they bury them near the corrals. Who are you to say they ain't happy? That is what a white man will tell you, looking you straight in the eye as he says it. After the largest group of Mexicans left, a group of us went door to door in town and gave everyone we didn't recognize 5 minutes to be on their way. Campbell put up new signs. Anyone carrying a firearm will be shot and or arrested. By 6 o'clock, the streets were deserted. 14 houses have been burned. Sergeant Campbell is leaving tomorrow to get medical attention for his wounds. Apparently he has gotten quite a hiding for not going south to protect the big ranches. 200 sections is considered middling. But thanks to Guillermo's sugar remedy, his arm does not appear to be getting any worse. To help me relax, I read the newspapers for the first time in a week. A storm hit Galveston yesterday, killing 300. A great victory, as the last one killed 10,000, ending Galveston's reign as our state's queen city. Sally called at 5 a.m. Glenn's fever appears to have broken. August 18th, 1915. Today, at the meeting of all the remaining townspeople, I suggested that the train station be named after Bill Hollis, killed at the Garcias. A motion seconded and carried. Feel extremely poorly for Marjorie Hollis. While Glenn was repeatedly mentioned by name in all the newspaper articles as having been wounded, and Charles singled out for leading the charge on the Garcia compound, each time mentioning he is the grandson of the famous Indian fighter Eli McCullough, Bill Hollis was only mentioned once in the local paper. Afterward, I wondered why I did not suggest the station be named after one of the many dead Mexicans. August 20th.